Hi, welcome to Automobile Reviews. Now I'm going to give you how to prepare a cycle for high speed runs if you like to do some max speed test. So what are the setups basically? Now first one, keep the air pressure. To increase the air pressure, keep the air pressure in the maximum setting or pick up your air pressure, because to reduce the rolling resistance and also to increase the stiffness of the cycle by increasing the air pressure. Next, check out for the proper working of the brakes, because this is the ultimate part which slows you down in high speed, some emergency braking or high speed stopping. Next one, keep the suspension in the tightest or full lock settings. If you got this locking or shock absorber tightness adjuster, keep it in the full lock setting, because when you do high speed runs, means wait, bear with me, I will give you a full detail explanation. When you are sitting in this cycle, you will be pressing your handle down, which increases the downforce on the front tire, which sticks it to the ground. When you keep the shock absorber in the soft setting, what under pressure you are applying for the downforce, all is went inside ear down, and there is no downforce in the front tire. So keep your shock absorber in the full lock setting, so there is full of downforce in the front part. Next one, check the thread left on the tire, because thread is very important for high speed grips. And also check out if there is any cracks in the tires, because cracks can cause tire burst during high speed runs, so the tire should be in the perfect condition. Next one, do some warm up ride before the max speed ride, because warm up ride very slightly increases the tire temperature, which is good for grip, and also it sets up cycle, because as per the mechanical stress and strain, some warm-up ride is always necessary before doing some max speed test in both cars and in cycles, because the gears and the friction and all parts will be tuned up or adjusted for high speed runs. And also, if you like to do some max speed test or high speed runs with your cycle, nitrogen air is always preferred. I always peak my air with nitrogen about 30 units pressure, psi, 30 psi of nitrogen. So nitrogen is preferable for high speed run. Now if you want to check out some high speed run, I use Strava app for recording my high speed runs and what is the top speed, like that. Now I'm going to present you some photos which I have done max speed test. If you want, you can pause the video now. Now I'm going to tell you how this cycle performs in high speed run, basically high speed review. So this cycle gives enough good grip from the tires while high speed runs. The grip increases while the speed increases. Both are directly proportional. And also the braking performance is good and gives very confidence while high speed run, because the brake pedal travel is less only. The brake pedal travel, when you hit the brakes, the travel is less, which gives you the confidence that there is still enough braking experience to go. Brake point, bite point, the brakes bite point is very grabby, and it gives more confidence while high speed runs. Now I'm going to give you a tip on the brakes. I have a hydraulic brake setup, while if you have a mechanical brake setup in which the pipe is there here, in which there will be a wire for stopping the brake and giving resistance there. If you have the mechanical brake setup, don't impact the brake in high speed run. I have already experienced that one. When there is a wire inside there and you have normal brake pressure setup, and in high speed run, if you impact it very hardly, there is so much of stress in the wire that it cuts off. So if you have a normal cycle with a mechanical brakes and you are doing high speed run, how much ever the emergency is there, initially you press it slowly so that the wire stress is set up uniformly, and then you can hit as hard as possible to stop from high speed emergency. In this cycle, the suspension setup is also good. In comfort mode, it is absolutely comfortable in city rides, and in when you lock or rigid mode, it is very good for high speed runs. And also the aluminum alloy body is very stable in high speed run. It feels like the cycle is more comfortable in high speeds than in the low speeds. But one point I have faced in this is that the pedals start to vibrate in the high gear, 8th gear, last gear. When I do high speed runs till 7th gear, how much ever speed you are, it is very good and stable, while in the 8th gear the pedal starts to vibrate. I don't know why is that. I think because of the inaccuracy of the 8 speed jaw or some pedal probably. But this incident is a point from the Firefox, because the 8 speed is vibrating and it gives lack of confidence because of that. Now I'm going to tell you about the incident faced on and after the high speed run. The extreme pressure on the brakes generated squeaky noise from the hydraulic, and the disc and the brake pad were smoking. When I was doing one day high speed run, and while I was riding at some 50 to 60 kilometer per hour speed, and there was a bus which was stopping immediately in front of me, and I hit the brakes as hard as possible, and after 5 minutes the brake started squeezy noises. Because of that, the fluid was crushed or impacted immediately, so squeaking noises started, but it went off after around 10-20 minutes. And the disc and the brake pads, the disc was fully smoking. It was caught on fire basically when I hit, and it was some fumes or smokes were coming from the brakes and the pad also, which also went after 20 minutes. The second one is that the incident on high speed run. I was doing a high speed run, and there was suddenly a nail, I think it was a nail on the road, and it stick those. Suddenly loud noise started to come, tuck 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 tuck, because the nut was struck here in the tire, and the puncture was also not, there was not immediate tire blast, but the air went off gradually, which was better, because if the tire would have burst there, it would have a very big incident. Another advantage of this high speed run is that the tires become clean if you do some high speed runs, because all the mud and dirt which is present here, all will be smashed off from the tire in high speed runs. And also the bearing, the front bearing and the back bearing and other parts in this cycle remain in maximum perfect condition if you do high speed runs. Now I'm going to tell you how much frequency of high speed run I will do. Means that when and all I will do some high speed runs in this cycle. I do once or twice a week high speed runs, because this maintains the cycle in perfect condition. All the parts are properly exercised in high speed runs, and it is very good for the proper maintenance of the cycle. So once or twice a week, if you do some high speed test in this cycle, all the parts will be perfectly performing well. So finally I am going to end the video by telling the positives and negatives of doing high speed runs. The positive, first one is that keep the cycle and its parts in the maximum tip-top condition. Doing high speed runs keeps the cycle maintenance properly, and all the parts are perfectly exercised. Second one, cleans the tires and also keeps the tires also in maximum proper condition. Keep the hydraulic brakes in also proper condition. The brake pads will get heated oftenly, and it removes the small amount of rust or dust particle from the disc brakes, and also the brake performance will be also improved when it is become heat. All the gears are used and exercised during the high speed runs. All the gears from first to 8th gear, all the gears will be used while doing these high speed runs, because in normal city condition you can never use above 5th gear or 6th gear basically. So if you do some high speed run, all the gear will be used and the gear setup will be proper condition. And also the bearings and the crankshaft, the bearing, your front bearing and the front bearing and the back bearing, and also the crankshaft of the cycle will be kept in proper condition if you do high speed runs. Negatives is though, the brake pads need to be replaced more frequently. I need to replace my brake pads more frequently. Still I have not replaced any brakes. I can see the depth of the pads here. I think I can't show it in the video, but I can see the depth of the video. When it is less than 1 millimeter, I will replace the brake pads. But I have purchased this cycle for 8 months, and still I have not needed to replace the brake pads. It is still in proper condition. 1 5 millimeter depth is still remaining after doing such a high speed runs also. The second one is that the tires also wear out more quickly if you do high speed runs, but it is a good, instead of maintaining a old tire with the cracks, doing some high speed runs and keeping it performance condition and wearing out is better. And also third one is that frequent lubing and cleaning of the chain is required due to more friction. Frequently I should clean the chain and also lubricate the chain using the loop oil or loop chain cleaner. The both products, if you want, check out the description box below. I always lube and clean the cycle using that one only. It keeps the cycle in performance condition, and so frequent lubing of this cycle is required if you do high speed runs. So that's it guys. If you like the video, like it, and please subscribe to my channel for more updates like this. Thank you.